Africa, then everything else happened. Then, you feel me? They forget that part. Why you don't talk about that part?
So we gonna talk about the.
We're gonna just talk about America. This is American history.
The forces brought you here tonight. I want people to know about this book.
We can talk about America. This is American history.
But I want to talk about your book.
This book
with your name on it. We ain't fuck American history. We want what you put in this book.
That's American history.
This what you put in this book.
Yeah, but it's
but America don't teach this, so we're not gonna tie this to American history. You got black massacres.
Right.
They was killing niggas.
In America.
So this for us. This ain't American history that you wrote, homie. Because as old as we are,
right,
we don't have this knowledge as history. So I'm not gonna say this is American history. This is a secret. This is a secret that you went and put in a book. No, this nigga history. Cause America won't tell this.
America ain't gonna tell you
this nigga history. All these people they killed in this book, homie. We only know about Tulsa, Oklahoma.
True.
We don't know about all these. How many in this book?
27.
27 massacres that you went and discovered documentations on.
Mm-hmm.
So we gonna talk about those 27 massacres because we only know about Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Right.
Some people know about Rosewood. Very few people know about Slocum, Texas. So we got you in here tonight, man. You gonna break this down. The name of this book is Black American History Edition, Black Massacres, a tribute to Black Wall Street, the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre, 27 black massacres in America after the Civil War began. Written and organized by Mayhem the Mentor. Say, can somebody mute their mic for me, please? Can somebody mute their mic for me, please? Yeah, so I got it. So we go see where my man at, man. But nah, man, keep talking, man. Yeah, keep talking, man.
Like you said, 27 black massacres. They don't teach in the history. This is going to be one in 4 books that I'm going to write on the series of Black American history that they really don't want to teach, but for whatever reason, we need to do it. And the reason why I teach about it, because I always tell it, there's wisdom and knowledge in the most unfortunate places. Some people don't want to go there. Right? And it's 2021. We got a lot of people who say, man, ain't nothing changed, man. It's all the same thing, man. We facing the same thing our ancestors faced. No, we ain't. No, we ain't facing the same thing. You know what our ancestors, if you saying that, boy, say, you know how disrespectful you are being to our ancestors? You know, when I talk about adversity, you know, my life was filled with adversity. I had a tough life. But when I found out what our ancestors been through, it made me understand that, hey man, I'm built for this type of adversity. I'm built to be outside of the heat. I'm built to pick cotton. You know what I'm saying? Because when you go to the penitentiary in Texas, we pick cotton. I don't know if y'all know that or not, but it's real. In 2021, they will have you picking cotton. You know what I'm saying? With no pay. That's called modern day slavery. You know, and one thing that I found out in these books, and not even in these books, from just studying history, you know what I'm saying? Because while I was incarcerated, I used to read encyclopedias, and that's how I ended up finding about these things. But most of the times you won't find, it won't say black massacre. What they'll disguise black massacre is they'll say a race riot, right? And how that is a trickery in history is because a race riot is between equal groups of people who have understanding that they don't like each other and that they want to fight. A black massacre is when a group of people attack another group of people who know nothing, who ain't trying to fight nothing. They don't want to fight. They ain't did nothing to nobody. They're innocent, but yet they're being attacked and annihilated for no reason at all. That's not a race riot. That's called a black massacre. You understand me? So they did have race riots and
come on, D.
And a race riot is a race riot.
Yo.
But you know, most of the time these black massacres will be disguised in a race riot. So they try to sugarcoat it. It was a race riot, and they were violent on both sides.
Yeah.
3,000 black people died. What are you talking about?
Well, they rewriting the narratives, right? So that's why I say this ain't. You can't find this, and you gotta look deep to find it.
You gotta look deep to find it. But one thing that I will tell you that all of this is researchable. There ain't nothing in here you can't go find and research for yourself, and you can find more information on everything that I wrote in here. You know what I'm saying? So you can always expound and do your own research.
Yeah, man, and shout out to my man, Bando Jack, man, out there in Greenville, North Carolina, man. Happy birthday, my nigga. Yeah, happy birthday to you, man. And shout out to Dewberry, man. My man got booked for his first out of town on the road trip interview, man. So, yeah, man, shout out to Dewberry. Yeah, it's gonna be a great show tonight, man. We got Coach D in the building. Derwin Lamb, man, UFC professional fighter, retired from it. Now got what you got two top 5, top 10 fighters?
Yeah, got one in the top 15 and some up and coming guys.
Yeah.
Got training.
You got it, bro. I'm not sure. Yeah, you.
Shit, you still on the road? Already, man. Yeah, nigga, we holding it down for you. We kicking off the podcast now.
Thank you.
Yeah, you get in the middle right here, coach. Yeah, I was just calling you, nigga. I'll hit you back when we done. Alright, bet. Yeah, we live. Yeah, we on Clubhouse, YouTube, and Facebook. Alright, shit, I'll hit you back. Yeah. Yeah, we got some great, we so unprofessional, but we get professional. I got some guys that's real professional behind the cameras. They got the structure to it.
Yeah, it look like some good cameras work.
Nah, man, we, man. We got some. Every Tuesday and Thursday. We gonna do about two more.
You bro.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, it's deep, D.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got a
I see
Christmas
it.
special.
Huh?
I said I got a Christmas special going on right now.
Yeah, I will.
They $10 today.
Get one.
We ready?
Roll.
Alright.
Cameras roll.
Say, man, what's up? This your boy Charleston White. Another week and another episode of Game Related, not Gang Related. Game applied means elevation. God is above my emotions, man. So yeah, we coming to the air and the waves, dropping some down on the ground for the hungry hounds, Jack. Dewberry is on the road, traveling right now on his way back in town. So I got two special guests in the studio. So if y'all don't mind introducing yourself.
My name is Derwin Lamb out of Fort Worth, Texas.
I'm Mayhem the Mentor out of Dallas, Texas.
And the reason why I call these brothers special guests, because in my eyes, they're special men. And they're two men that I admire and got a great deal of respect for. They walk it like they talk it. And yeah, you gotta admire that. We got a book that Mayhem the Mentor wrote. It's called Black American History Edition, Black Massacres. And it's a tribute to Black Wall Street, the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacres. He highlights the other 27 black massacres in America after the Civil War began. So it's a great read, man. So I give it to children. Most adults, you got to. It take a different kind of person to want to know this at this age in your life. But this is something that, man, I think all children should have in their books before Black History Month. If y'all heard what I said, before Black History Month, so they can show up at school with some new information, some new tools, and some new knowledge that could equip them to advance past where they are in academics. So, man, y'all make sure y'all check that out. So what inspired you to write this book, man?
Just knowing the kids now, hearing the kids complain about the situation that they're going through, thinking that it's an unbearable situation, and then finding out one of the young kids that I was talking to, he was excited that he had learned about Black Wall Street, and he was telling me about it. And then when I went to elaborate on another black massacre that happened, he couldn't believe that another one had happened. And then I kept going on, and he was just like, man, I can't believe we don't have this information. Why don't we know about it? And as I thought about it, and I said, man, I don't know. And I went to look up, and I was like, why don't we have any books about it? So I said, well, let me just do a book about every black massacre that I personally know about, and let me just chronologically do it. You know what I'm saying? So I wrote the book from us, from our point of view, no white people wrote it, but from a black person's point of view that's already known. We went through history. I've already researched it. I've already studied it, and so I wrote it in our language so we can understand it. So because I'm talking, I'm telling, I'm explaining, I'm writing history. I'm explaining to you what happened, and then you, of course, you can go back and research what I'm writing about. But I'm the one going to be narrating in this book. I'm talking to him. So because I know I had trouble reading and writing, so I wrote it like on a 4th or 5th grade reading level, so you can comprehend and understand what's going on. And, you know.
Now, with that last statement that you made, I had trouble reading and writing, and I wrote this on a 4th grade level.
Right.
That gives me that's where I want to go, to take us back to the backstory of where was you struggling at in school to read? At what?
I was in special ed. I was in special ed from the 7th grade until I got incarcerated in 18. So I was a special ed student. I didn't learn how to read until I was like 3 years deep into prison. I did 17 calendar years.
So you mean to tell me, so you got pushed through
I was
elementary?
pushed through school, yes, sir. And then I went to prison. You know what I'm saying? And after 17 years, you know what I'm saying, I had to reteach myself how to read and write, that's how I ended up actually learning all this stuff, reading documentaries and stuff like that, because when I first got into prison, I couldn't read at all.
So stop right there.
Go ahead.
What attorney was representing an illiterate man?
Man, I first had a good attorney. Then I hired an attorney called Howard B. Law. I paid this month, I paid him. And I had this, since I was good in the streets, you know what I'm saying, I feel like, he's just, get your attorney, he'll take care of it. But
you can't read or write.
I can't read or write.
So how you get in trouble with the law, can't read and write, you not really understanding no paperwork they sending you?
No, sir. No. I ain't understand none of that.
If you don't mind me asking, what was you charged with?
Aggravated robbery and attempted murder.
And so when they sending you these papers, as you 18, 19 years old?
I got re-indicted, so I had so much paperwork. When they re-indict you,
Yeah.
so they re-indicted me, and my bond was $250,000, but because I was already notorious. And I tell people all the time, when they know who you are, they ain't gonna make it, because I was looking like, what's your bond? They were like, 25,000, 50,000, and I was like, why my bond 250,000? And I had to understand that I was already in the newspaper, not knowing. You saying this really?
You can't read.
Not reading, but not caring.
Yeah.
Not only did I not read, I didn't care. I can count. That's all I care
So
about.
at 18, 19 years old, where does the notion "I don't care"? Where did that come from?
Struggle.
Talk about it. Tell me how did?
So-
Because it's a whole lot of young people 18,
So when I mean,
19,
like,
who
struggle,
don't
like-
care because they struggle.
Okay, well, let me give you an example. My biological father was murdered before I was born, right? My biological mother OD 4 months after I was born. I was rushed through 5 different foster homes before I got adopted. And I'm from Los Angeles, California, right? So my dad was I think a pimp, and my mama was a prostitute. They was part of their life. So that life led them to an early demise. So by us, it was 5 of us. I have a twin brother. Me and my twin was shipped around until we got adopted by my family. I got adopted by a Creole black family that came from Louisiana that adopted us in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But for there, we moved to Albuquerque, we moved to Colorado, we moved to a lot of places. But no matter where we moved at, we were struggling. When we were living in Albuquerque, the neighbors next to us, son, we used to go outside, play with them, and whatever. They used to say, man, come inside and eat something with us, right? We like, babe, we're going to get a snack, right? They come out with dog food. So this is my reality. The people next door to me, they eat dog food. So when I tell people about adversity, this is real. The people live in real stuff like this. This is reality for a lot of people. A lot of people don't have liberties. We didn't have a lot of exes, but we didn't have to eat dog food. But we was able to, but the people around us did. You see what I'm saying? So we seeing that this is a reality of the situation where I grew up. And then when you leave this is in Albuquerque. So Albuquerque's cool. There's no gangs over here, but this is in the 70s. So I never had it easy. You know what I'm saying? Even as a little kid, this is my reality. Well, at least I ain't gotta eat dog food. I struggle with the syrup sandwich sound pretty good. People talking about syrup sandwiches. Yeah. We love We love surf sandwiches, but way better than dog food. You feel me?
Yeah.
And then people talk about what they got, like they look at us, they look down on us. Y'all eat service sandwich, and I'm looking like, man, we eat dog food. So I knew always to be humble and be grateful for what we had, because I knew that we weren't as bad as the person next to us. I always had somebody next to me doing worse, and
Wow.
I always knew that it could be worse.
So growing up struggling, you didn't take on the hustler's mentality. You took on the gorilla's mentality. I'm gonna
No,
take it.
I had a twin, so my twin had vitiligo. You see these spots I got on me?
Yeah.
My twin had vitiligo since he was 2. We moved around a lot. We was light-skinned niggas, and we always stayed in the hood. So, you know, of course, I ended up getting just a chip. You know, I was just that
light
dude.
skinned nigga either
Yeah.
gonna be a damn fool
So-
or a punk.
So,
Yeah.
you know, my brother, he was getting picked on. He, you know, I was like, okay, he don't want no trouble. I do. You know, so and I always had that reputation. And then I got other brothers. I was always around boys, and that's what we do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So after having that reputation and this going on, I was always out with the fellas, but we always got along great. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
we was always understood. You know, don't be disrespectful, because my twin can't. You know, he might not take it. You know, he got problems or whatever. His
Yeah.
problem, I don't know. He got spots. Don't tease him. You know what I'm saying? He don't like it, and I don't like it. So we did this all over, but I really didn't get in trouble until I got to Dallas. You know, and it's funny. You know who my OG is? The Sky Blue.
Mark Lewis, that's my nigga.
So it's crazy that you know him,
Damn fool.
right?
Yeah, nigga been
So when I
knocking
tell-
out folks all their life.
So when I tell people, I was like, well, who you grew up with? Because we always want to say, who.
You-
People call me OG, and I said, well, I'm OG now. So who raised me? I said, well, you know, I was raised by OGs, and these people older than me. I was accidentally around them around. Now me and him kind of followed through the same California, Albuquerque, Dallas.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And look how he gang banging, and we kind of gang banged the same way, because the first day I remember
My nigga
gang-banging-
always was an angry kid.
Yes.
Yeah, he was an angry kid. Huh?
And so was I.
Yeah.
And that's why we kind of clicked, because I was an angry kid, but people say, well, I had a reason to be angry. Most kids ain't never been through nothing. They be like, what you mad for? You know, my mom and dad arguing. I'm like, I wish I had a mom and dad who argued. I ain't never even seen my dad. I seen one picture of my biological mother, but I've actually never seen no pictures of my dad. But it is what it is. I'm not a victim of the circumstances. I'm a victor, because when something happens to you, you can let this stop you, or you can say, man, I'm gonna keep going, because that's what I was doing until I was in prison. When I'm telling you, that's what kind of another reason why I love history, because I had just got into with this officer on the Styles unit, and I was feeling sorry for myself. And you know, when they put you, they lock you up, and they always talk about solitary, but in prison they got solitary, LOP, PhD. They got a lot of things that are just like solitary. The only difference is in solitary you don't get no visits. Everything else is called a different name. So I'm in this like solitary extension. I'm like 70 days because I got into with this law. So you know, in solitary they take everything, give you a blanket. So I'm in there and I'm feeling sorry for myself, and I'm going over to my life, all the adversity, everything I've been through. And somebody came through and dropped the National Geographic out of their bag, and I fished it out. And I read everything in that book, and one of the stories, there was a story in there about a little black girl and a little black boy. The little black girl had to be about 4. She used to have to wash her case with carry urn. And the little boy was about 2. He was leaned over, and he was a buzzard behind him. And as I read that story, I thought about it. I said, man, these kids never had an opportunity in life, and here I am.
That buzzard was go eat him.
The buzzard was finna eat the kid. And I'm in the cell. I'm 60 days. I'm about 65 days in solitary. And I'm going like, man, my mama dead. Why me? You know what I'm saying? You know.
Crying on the inside. The poor me attitude. Yeah, the poor me. Yeah.
And then I looked at these kids, and I said, you know what? My life ain't that bad. You know, I need to change my attitude. And like that, man, I changed, and I started like saying, well, I'm gonna take what I got, because these kids ain't got nothing. Despite me being having food loaf, and I don't know if people know what food loaf is, but despite in the present position I was in,
You was eating food loaf?
Yeah, the breakfast food loaf, but not the rest. You know what I'm saying? The breakfast food loaf pretty good, but I was eating food loaf. Despite me being where I was at, I was safe. I had food, I had water, I had bed. These kids don't have none of that. They was gonna die. They was gonna they couldn't live past 7. Their life, whatever their life was, they probably had a good attitude. So when I seen that, it just made me say to myself, man, I'm gonna stop taking life for granted. I'm gonna start doing stuff. And I started making significant advancements in learning and educating myself, because I had to, first of all, in order to fix yourself, you must understand that it's a problem. Because like you were saying, did you even understand it was a problem? No. Why? Because I had money. I had street money. So who cares about reading?
Yeah.
Well, reading make you make sure nobody messes over you. Money won't. I give you a bunch of money. That won't stop somebody from robbing you, stealing you, or making sure your house don't get somebody that's intellectually steal something from you. If you can't read, you can't protect yourself from nothing or nobody. And then on top of that, you got to depend on everybody to tell you something. And just like I did, and I don't know about anybody else, I said I depend on everybody to tell me. That's why I probably had so much information. But once I learned how to read, oh my God, I didn't have to depend on nobody.
How difficult was that, homie? Teaching your, was it just the Malcolm X story? That's what Malcolm did, right? Taught himself how to read in prison.
Yeah, true. I think my difficulty was nobody ever taught me how to educate. Nobody taught me that learning was remembering.
Just remembering.
Learning is remembering. My name Kevin. What's my name?
Kevin.
You can learn anything. So learning is remembering. So my thing is, what makes human beings learn? What will you learn and what won't you learn? Do you know this? So I didn't know this. So I was like, well, why would I read Donald Goins' Horror Son? Black Gangster, I can remember every word in this book, but if I read this engineer book, I can't remember nothing. Why? Because you only remember what you like. So I had to learn, like, damn. So I remember what I like. Okay, cool. So what I'm finna do, I'm finna trick myself. I like screws and I like engineer. I like plants.
That's how you become a master of your craft.
So I read all this book, but
wow.
I accidentally read a book called How to Use Both Sides of Your Brain. That's what happened. I read all the gangster books I could read, all the Horror Son, Donald Iceberg Slims. I read all that shit. Read all that. Then I started reading documentaries. That's where I read about Farrakhan, Marcus Garvey, my favorite, Muhammad Ali. George Washington Carver, the greatest black American ever lived. George Washington Carver is even better than Frederick Douglass, who is my favorite person.
Explain that to us.
George Washington.
Because Frederick's one of my favorites.
Frederick Douglass is the first. And the people, somebody was telling me.
But George Washington Carver, the miseducation,
he is the baddest black man ever.
Yeah.
George Washington Carver is the baddest black man ever. And the reason why is, first of all, I salute to him and rest in peace, because then white people cut his balls off. They castrated him. And nobody talked about that. They used to call him.
They didn't want him to produce no baby because he was so close to white folk.
No.
They
kidnapped his mother at birth, and they sent bushwhackers after they found him, and they couldn't find his mother. They found him. They brought him back. So he was a customary that if a black man was to stay with a white family, they was going to chastise. They was going to castrate him. That's why he was castrated, because when he came back, he had to stay with the white people, and the white people made that decision because they did not want him having sex with the white woman, even though he was a baby.
Yeah, I know. Cut the boy nuts off, so won't touch that white girl.
So George Washington Carver, what makes him so great was his ability to learn and his gift with nature. He was what they call a plant scientist, but he wasn't a plant scientist. He was a genius.
High-pitched voice.
With a high-pitched voice.
With a high-pitched voice.
Right.
Sounded like Mike Tyson.
So people say, well, why do I give him the title of being the ultimate black person in America, even greater than Frederick Douglass? Right? Because I tell anybody, we would not have America today if it wasn't for George Washington Carver. Why do I say that? Because in 1865, after the Civil War, if anybody studies American history was a great nation and became a great nation because of money. Not because of people. Yeah. It became money. So who were the money-making states of America in the beginning?
Slave states.
What's that mean? Southern states.
Southern states.
So the southern states were the money-making states before or after the Civil War?
Yeah.
Both.
Say it. That's what made them a superpower so fast.
Right.
The southern states made America a superpower.
Right. That's why they feel so cocky like Rocky. We're bucking. Okay. So I want you to understand, the Industrial Revolution did not happen until 1920. That means factories, right? Yeah. So what does that mean? Everybody worked in the fields. Okay, so
pick the cotton down south, send the cotton up north to make the jeans, put the dye in the cotton t-shirts and all that.
Okay, so now we talking about George Washington Carver, who was alive in 1865 or 1860, right? This is after the Civil War, right? He was a plant scientist, and what makes him so unique, right? This is why I tell people all the time. First of all, if you know his story, the man was not in the South; he was in Iowa, comfortable, up there with them white folks, living good, minding his own business, And Booker T. Washington wrote him a letter and said, "Sir, I'm down here in Tuskegee, Alabama, 1800, trying to help out these black people. Can you come down here and help us educate black people, man? Serve the people." And this man gave up his job in Iowa.
To come down south to risk his life being killed.
And people don't understand. I said, you know what? I remember about this when I'm reading about it. It's crazy, right? Because we're thinking, man, people do not understand what the South is like in the 1800s for a black person. So the first thing that had to happen when George Washington Carver came down with Booker T. Washington had to say, listen, while you down here, you cannot look white people in their face. If you're walking on the sidewalk, you got to get off the sidewalk and let them pass. Right? You have to say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. You have to say these things to these people or not, you will lose your life. This is tradition and this is real.
Yeah.
Not doing this can cost you your life in the South. These simple things. So this is why Booker T. Washington and W.B. Du Bois got into it, because he grew up in Boston, who was not slave. This is different.
Whole different mindset.
Whole different mindset,
Yeah.
right? So he came down there. So when George Washington Carver came down to the South, he noticed that in Alabama, Tennessee, Louisiana, all the southern states, Mississippi, that King Cotton had ruined the land. Because he was a plant scientist, he knew that cotton pulls all the minerals out of the ground. I was in special ed. I graduated college 3 times. I got a degree in horticulture, computer science, and I got my master's from Baylor University for business, right? But I got my degree in horticulture because of George Washington Carver.
Yeah,
I graduated college with honors.
I took horticulture and landscaping in middle school and stuff. So
Right.
yeah.
I graduated college with honors, but I was in special ed from the 7th grade to the 12th grade. I didn't learn how to read until I was about 25. I didn't start college until I was 33. I didn't graduate until I was 38. I'm 44. So I can tell people I understand the struggle of education. I know what it's like to sit in the classroom and say I'm stupid and say, I ain't been stupid. Hey, man, tell it to your mama. You feel me?
Yeah.
Life ain't fair. You ain't got to be smart. You ain't got to be stupid. It's up to you. You feel me? And hey, if you want to be stupid, by all means, you can't be more dumber than me. Get up out of here. Hey, man, bless your heart. It's ain't meant for everybody. Everybody ain't going to get it. This ain't a hand out, it's a hand up.
That's right.
Yeah.
You feel me?
So you basically what we call a state baby. You went into prison real early.
18.
18 years old. So
So let me get you back up to George Washington Carver, right?
Okay.
So boom. So he knew because of this, like I say, me having a little knowledge of horticulture, I know that when you look at dirt is not dirt. Dirt got minerals, iron, calcium, potassium, phosphate. You know, it's got things in soil, right? So he was a plant scientist. He looked at it and said, man, y'all ground is ruined. Y'all need fertilizer, but y'all don't have money for fertilizer because this is after the Civil War. Ain't none. Everybody's poor. This is the southern states. All the southern states are losing. They can't grow nothing because cotton has ruined the land. So George Washington Carver knew there's 3 things that put produce in the ground, put minerals and nutrients in the ground. That's peanuts, lima beans, and sweet potatoes. But everybody grew peanuts more than anything else. But he knew grow these things and your soil will be back right. You know, you have good soil and you can grow other stuff. So this way you get crop rotation, compost pile. All this stuff was George Washington Carver's inventions, right? So George Washington Carver convinced so many people in the South to grow peanuts that they couldn't get rid of them. They listened to this black man. Everybody did, all over the South. Not just in Alabama, but everywhere. They grew so many peanuts, they couldn't get rid of them. So he had to be the person to invent ideas of how to sell your peanuts. That's why they call him the peanut guy. He wasn't trying to do that. He was just trying to help people out. He wasn't trying to be some peanut expert.
why we got peanut butter.
Peanut butter, peanut coffee, peanut lotion, peanut. He did all peanut brittle, peanut. He did all. He created all. He created over, I think, 100 different things you can do with peanuts.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
And that's why they call him the peanut guy. But he wasn't doing. He gave it away. Man, boy, he would piss you off, bro. George Washington will piss you off because he would not charge people for what he created. He gave it away. Look it up.
That's what I do. I do the same thing.
He gave it away. He created companies.
I do the same
and not
shit.
just with peanuts. Not just with peanuts. He did it with flowers. He did it with everything. He did all. He created everything, and he would give it away. He drove Booker T. Washington crazy because people would give them blank checks, and he said, "I don't want your money. If I take the money, I'll lose my gift."
If I take the money, I lose my gift.
Oh man, he was killing Booker T. Washington. Like, take the damn money, man. Oh my God. Look at it. Research it yourself. But anyway, So he grew so many peanuts that they couldn't get rid of them. They still, because it was cheaper for people to buy peanuts overseas than it is in America. So they needed somebody to go down to the United States Senate and speak on behalf of the farmers of the South, so they can raise the tariff and people can sell their peanuts domestically instead of getting overseas. But there was nobody more qualified to speak on the subject but who?
George Carver.
George Washington Carver. So they sent him up there, right? They sent him up there, but guess where the Congress, the United States Congress Hall is at? It's in Maryland. It's inside of Washington, D.C., it's inside of Maryland. That's in Jim Crow. So when they get up there, they tell him, nigga, you can't walk through the front door. You black. They sent him to the back. That by the time he got to the podium, they said, man, you got 5 minutes to speak. Make it snappy and we be happy. Nobody want to hear what your nigga ass got to say. And I tell anybody, that's why I tell my kids, boy, I don't give a damn what nobody tell you. If you can show somebody you're highly intelligent, they ain't got no choice but to respect you. You hear me? Let me say that again. If you show somebody you are highly intelligent, they don't have no choice.
That's right.
When he went up there and spoke with that 5 minutes, that 5 minutes turned into 15, 15 turned to 45, 45 turned into, he spoke for 4.5 hours. When he got through talking, they gave him a standing ovation, and they changed the tariff. They changed the law so people can sell their peanuts. And that's how the southern states recovered after the Civil War. If it wasn't for George Washington Carver, this shit wasn't going to happen.
Now, with that being said, we feel the transition. That's why, see, I heard an old nigga say one time, ignorance always prevails. And it worked for the nigga, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be intelligent to use ignorance to prevail. So that's why I create this ignorant, foolish nigga character. Because I'm going to start out with that, especially if I'm fighting. I'm going to work my way back to being intelligent. And that's where I'm going to win the argument at. That's how I can act like this in front of these cameras, say the things that I say, and still go downtown and my government listen to me. They respect my intelligence.
Exactly.
Black people really don't. That's why they done seen me come stand before government, House committee hearings, U.S. congressional hearings, and articulate myself. That's why white folks don't bother me in this city about what I do on the camera.
Right.
Because even with them, right, if I go down there and I'm intelligent, and it seems like I'm losing and I can't get what I want, I'm going to do the ignorant nigga fool. And then somebody going to respond to this ignorance. And then I'm going to work them back way to my intelligence. So I understand what you just said, and that was so powerful. And with that being said, we got my man Coach Lamb in here. Give us a little backstory, Coach, on how you ended up with two top 15 fighters in the country, a UFC professional gym when they had the triad fight. I think with a Rampage Jackson team, them they came to your gym and worked out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was over there with Shannon Briggs, and Rampage then was over here with my man Durbin. So give us a little backstory. How did you get in mixed martial arts?
Man, honestly, it was really by default, man. My mom, see, back in the Gap in Fort Worth, martial arts was cheap. It was a poor person sport. So my mom can go to karate for a few dollars a month, and I was the one going to karate classes with her, not knowing that it was going to be something I would be doing later on. I really didn't even like it. I just went where I would see her come on with a belt, and I kind of got intrigued with doing that. So I just started going to classes with her and doing all that kind of stuff. And then she met my dad, my stepdad, and he in Fort Worth, and he also was a practitioner in karate. And then they started talking and being friends, and they eventually started dating. And then I got to watch my mom compete in karate tournaments, and myself, even my stepdad, my uncles, and all them. So it kind of got me into it, and I started doing it. Little did I know, I didn't think that fast forward these many years later, that this was going to be the foundation for me to do the things I'm doing now. If somebody would have told me 30 years ago that I was going to be a fighter, I was going to be this, I was going to be that, I would have laughed at it.
Well, you was in the streets 30 years ago.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. So this is what happened with me. I was doing martial arts, and then when I got in the teenage years, I thought I was too cool then for karate.
Yeah.
No, I didn't want people making fun. I didn't want people really knowing that I did it, but everybody knew that I did it. And so I got bored with that. I got more into the sports, basketball and things, and then I transitioned into me being bored. So it goes back to the black kid with nothing to do
With the idle mind.
with the idle mind.
Yeah.
And then that led me to stealing bikes, stealing from stores, smoking, doing different things, and hanging out with the wrong group. But eventually started turning up later on to doing other things and bigger things that I shouldn't have been doing. And it wasn't until I was 20, in my early 20s, mid 20s, is when I got back into transition in martial arts. I was in a bad situation. My son was born. He was 3 months old. His mama, I couldn't take care of him because I was doing the wrong thing. She ended up moving back to Colorado when my son was 3 months. That's where she's from. And man, I didn't have nothing. I met my ex-wife at the time. I was about to lose my apartment. My car got repoed. And then I was thinking, this dude that I know, he was from up north, we was plotting to rob a store and a bank. That's what we was plotting. But see, God interfered with that because he ended up not coming back to my apartment. So that ended up not happening. My ex-wife, who was my friend at the time, she was like, look, you ain't got nothing, you can move to Dallas with me. And then, you know, and that's how that happened. It wasn't until I was driving one day and I seen a karate spot. And she was like, then you did that when you was going? I said, yeah. She goes, you ain't thought about getting back into it? What you doing now? At the time, I was waiting tables, hustling on the side, waiting tables, trying to figure it out. And then I got back into training, and then I instantly started competing again at like 25. Started competing again, kickboxing, all that kind of stuff, which led to me coaching my stepson, which is her son. I raised since he was 6 years old. He's 27 now. So I ended up getting back into that, started competing, and then I started coaching her, she turned pro, was ranked in the top 10 in the world at the time. And then I built my team off of that. So all this came and just fell up on me. But I'll tell you what happened. The main thing is, now that I look back at it, that was the foundation that God was using as a platform for me to do the other things I'm doing now.
Now, by you saying that, you haven't, you don't have no other brothers, right?
Yeah, I got quite a few siblings.
Yeah.
From my biological dad's side, I got a whole like 8 siblings, and then on my mom's side, I got a brother and a little sister.
So I heard you say one time that having the skills and the ability to defend yourself and fight gave you the confidence to say no to the homies in the hood when you didn't want to do what the group wanted to do.
Right. I ain't never been that's why gangs never really worked out for me. Affiliated through relation, through circumstances, by the people I was hanging out with. That was a part of that. But I never took on and adopted the spirit that a lot of these guys took on because it didn't make sense to me, because of the intelligence that it was already embedded in me. But like you said, I was confident in myself because I've been learning these arts since I was a kid. And I thank God to this day because I was the one that really didn't want to go to class, didn't want to go to karate until I started liking it and competing. I was like, okay, this is cool. But then when I had the confidence, it also allowed me to stand on who I was as a man without even also, which is the main important thing, without trying to bully other people, without trying to be like this, because I had the discipline in martial arts and the understanding that not to do that, 2 things, because I can get in trouble. Second thing, that just because I do know how to fight, know how to defend myself, doesn't exempt me for getting my ass whooped or exempt me from getting killed either.
Yeah.
So that was a knowledge that I had early. But I also knew that me taking that position, that I knew that if I had to do that and defend myself, that I wouldn't be in the wrong. Yeah. So that's why I made sure that guys knew early that, hey, because I was one of those ones that, being on the smaller side when you were young, they try to bully, they try to play with. In the neighborhood, you know, guys try to do that. So at an early age, I was already defending myself. And we was the kids that couldn't go back to the mamas and come back to the families and uncles and tell them that somebody was messing with you. You just didn't do that.
You could get a whooping.
Yeah. And my grandma was
get your ass tore
the
up.
first time I really got in a real fight was over there in Fort Worth on the north side. My grandma got into it. I got into it with one of the neighbors across the street I used to play with. I came back across the street crying. And my grandmama seen me. She was like, turn back around, go back over there. I was scared to death. I was a little dude. I was like 7 years old. I went over there, fought the dude, handled him, you know what I mean? And at that point, I was like, okay, I have the confidence to do that. As I got older, people tried that. But what I learned, though, is standing on your own 2 feet as a man, no matter what. That's the number one thing I took when I said, I seen how these dudes, because to me, what I realized with gang members is that what I came to understand, and a lot of it is manipulation, control, and bullying. That's what it is. I mean, I'm gonna say it for what it is. I don't care what side you from the red rag, blue rag, Mexican side. It's all a bullying, and this is what I learned about it, because the way I got affiliated was out of insecurities, fear, wanting to be cool. See, this a lot of these boys that are tough and gangsters right now, a lot of them won't tell you this, but a lot of them have that same mindset. They wanted to be tough. They don't want to tell you that they were scared. They don't want to tell you that they wanted to be a part of something, because it takes away their gangster. But when you don't know nothing like that, homie, when you're a kid. When you're a child, you're not thinking about that. You think about hanging with the homies, because they're going to high size on you. They're going to play with you. They're going to mess with you. You might get jumped. You might get bullied. So that was my partake. But as I got older, I was like, and I seen even the weakness in them, even though they was tough and fight, but I seen broken boys, just like everybody else. Broken boys come from broken homes. Also, a lot of these guys don't come from broken homes. Some of them come from the block and the neighborhood, but we live in a society where the society is raising the children more than the parents is.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what it was. So I understood, okay, well, one thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to be a bully, because I was the ones that always took up for the kids that got picked on.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to let nobody play with me either. We're not going to do this. You doing this, you're going to do this, you're going to do it. No, man, I'm letting it be known. I'm not doing nothing that I'm uncomfortable with, and I'm not doing something that I don't want to do just because y'all think it's okay or y'all think it's cool to do it. So I always separated myself. When I started seeing things get like that, I stood on the outside and I said, that's foolish. That don't make sense. That's counterproductive. That's dumb. That's stupid. We in the club getting in fights for no reason. I'm in, I'm like, okay, we boxing, and for what? For no reason. So I said, okay, this ain't productive.
Yeah. So you make it, I ain't gonna say out of it, because you never really was into it. Everybody around you were, and because of that, you affiliated, you're a part of it, and you be a part of it. But you always had morals and principles that you stood on.
I did.
Even today. So when you fast forward to today, how did you get your own gym?
Well, I got my own gym because one of my students that was a fighter, he was fighting under me. And he was like, hey man, I want to open up this gym, coach. I don't know much about it, but I'm getting out the military. You help run it, we can run it. Neither one of us knew what we was doing. So we took on the name of the gym was called Phalanx MMA. We took the concept from the 300 thing. So we opened it up, had the gym. It was doing good because I had a name in martial arts even at that time. So people was coming to the gym. But the problem was, which I had to learn later, was that it's one thing knowing knowledge, it's what we always talking about, the ignorance and knowledge thing. It's one thing having knowledge of my field, which was martial arts fighting, but it's one thing to run a business. And that's what the problem was. We didn't know what we was doing, so, I knew fighting, I knew martial arts, but business is a whole different animal. So he ended up selling the gym to this older white dude that took it on because his niece was a couple of students of ours. They took the gym, and then they started doing stuff with it, but they didn't know what they was doing. They wanted to turn it into a Krav Maga gym. So this old white man came up to me and said, look, Mr. Lamb, we're getting rid of the MMA program. I'm sorry. Stuck me out. I didn't know what I was going to do. He paid me up for like 1 month or two. I didn't have nothing. I was married at the time. I didn't know what I was going to do. But I just walked by faith. And so I found the building I'm at now. I called my ex-wife at the time. I was like, man, you ain't got no money. How you going to? I'm like, I don't have no money physically. But here, I got it. And in my heart and my spirit, I got it. Because if there's one thing I never knew how to do was give up. I knew how to do a lot of things, and a lot of things wrong, but I never knew how to give up on myself. I never knew how to go against myself, and I always was focused on my path and what I need to do. I found the building. A lady that was some students in my other gym called me up, said, look, we don't have a lot of money, but look, we can pay for the first month rent, down deposit, we can buy the mats, and then really everything else, people was donating. And the people in the community liked me, so they donated. I did a grand opening. That's how I started. Me and my ex-wife moved out of our old apartment. I actually moved in my gym. Lived in my gym for like 4 or 5 years with my stepson while this thing was going on. She really couldn't see the vision. Nobody could really see it but me. I knew then, I said, I just got to stick this out. I went through it, bro. Students leaving, even fighters that I raised and brought up left, come back, gym shutting down, open back up, gym shutting down, open back up. I went through a lot of trial and error. I've been at this gym 9 years and it's been shut. It's been closed like 2 or 3 times, and that's why people gotta understand. They see the outside, but they don't see what's going on in here with no money, with not this, with that. So I just did that, and I had a good skill set. I had acquired a lot of skill through the years. That's what made me a good coach. I've been doing grappling, jiu-jitsu, grappling for like over 20 years. I'm a 5th degree black belt, karate, 3rd degree black belt, taekwondo, 1st degree black belt, and different style of karate, shotokan, ushiru karate. I've been doing Muay Thai for 15 years, wrestling, the whole 9. So I knew how to take all those skill sets and apply it to teaching the guys that was coming to the gym and to teach them how to fight. More so, I was teaching them how to fight with this more than I was trying to teach them how to fight with this. They thought they was learning just this, but I was using this to get to this and get to the mind. So that's how all that took place. And I ended up in 2008. I fought for International Kickboxing Federation World Championship in Florida, and I won. I was ranked number 1 in the world in 2008 at that time for that particular tournament. I won the belt. I was working part-time as a bar and W meat dude, wasn't making money, just coaching. But I promised myself if I win this belt and I come back, I don't care how hard I struggle, I will never work for nobody again. And that's what happened, never work for nobody else again. But I struggled. And people got to understand that this thing don't happen overnight. People want the fast thing. I said, my life has never been easy and nothing never been really given to me. I have to take the hard road, hard route in everything I do. So that's what builds the character, builds the strength. And this is what I try to turn into the guys that I teach. I've had 4 people that I trained us in the UFC. 3 that I put in myself. 2 not no longer there. 1 I'm actually teaching in my school, and 1 right now that's in the top 15. That's fighting actually February 5th in Vegas.
So you also use your gym that partner with the city's gang intervention and gang prevention program.
Right.
Then you and your business partners, y'all have the what is it, the every Tuesday night fights?
Yeah, second Tuesday every month, Tuesday night fights.
Talk about that.
Yeah, so Tuesday night fights is basically was a concept that for me, I was thinking spiritual was like, do this thing, exhibition boxing for people that always wanted to fight, maybe was too scared to fight, inspiring fighters, or people that just street dudes that think they tough, and put them in the ring.
And watch them get their ass kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's been happening.
Yeah, that's what happened because a lot of these guys think that, it's the most ignorant thing in the world. Like, oh, I've been knocking. This is the biggest thing that happens in my gym. People come in. So, have you trained before? Yeah, man, I've been in a lot of street fights. I've been in 100 street fights. I said, hold up. I'm asking, have you trained in a real art? No, but I've been knocking people. So, in my mind, one of the concepts for Tuesday night fights too is I want to get these guys that think they're tough and put them in a ring and see how they do. They don't understand. It's more than just throwing punches. It's about breathing. It's about stamina. And it never fails. None of these guys can last 30, 40 seconds without breathing hard and hands over their knees. And a lot of it is me. No.
Then they're throwing them power punches. Missing like a motherfucker.
And see, what we do is I get guys that start training in my gym that never fought before, but been training for like 6 months, 8 months.
Yeah.
Put them against them.
So hold on. So you putting a guy that's never really fought before, really scared of fighting, but he been training. You put him up against this cocky, confident street nigga who been knocking people out all his life.
And every time, almost 100% rate, that dude get his ass whooped.
Wow.
That's kind of remind me when I was in prison. I was in medium custody for so long, but I was a youngster because I had been in prison for. But people see me, they didn't know
You grew up there.
I would have been in prison. They just thought he just been in there. So I was in medium custody, and my job was like, all the the convicts over here, the new boots, and medium custody is where you go when you misbehaving. So every now and then we'd catch a young dude in here who, when he coming up and they say, hey bro, how you doing? This is the tank, whatever. Over here, this is how we do it. You know what I'm saying? You don't clean up and this is how you do it, whatever, right? So some people say, cool, I got it. It's respect. Some people say, hey, ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do. I said, all right, so we ain't gotta do all that tough talking stuff. Come over to the side and we'll just take care of this. Come to the back of the day room. And so, like you're saying, most of them come in with this old cocky shit. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Come on back here with that tough, cocky stuff. Come on back here. And like you said, I don't care how good these guys fight, right? what they don't know is that we've been locked up 4 years. What you don't know is that I run up and down the basketball court non-stop. I'm a runner. They call me the road runner. I run, but I also fight. And there's a difference between, you got boxers that come to prison. They teach you how to box. They got karate people. They teach you how to do karate. And then you got what they call penitentiary fighters. These whole totally different types of shit. I didn't know none of this shit, but I know now. There's difference, right? Because there's people who fighting for points, and there's people who fighting for technique and honor, and then there's people who fight just to kill you.
That's it. That's it.
Like it's penitentiary
Yeah.
fight.
He gonna hurt you.
He know exactly where to hit you. That's me. I already know how to do all that. That's what I'm saying. I was raised by these people. I was raised by Tyrone Cotton and Swade Wade and all these.
Shout out to Swade Wade.
I was raised by Gerald Douglas
Yeah.
Oh, Fort Worth?
out of Fort
Oh,
Worth.
yeah. I know this boy.
You know why he loved me? Because I played basketball, bright skin, talking noise. Yeah, he like, I like that. Where you from?
Yeah.
Yeah, he loved the
But
Cowboys.
see, that's the problem that I'm saying. When I started doing this, I was intentionally like, okay,
Trying to give me.
what are you street dudes? All you guys from South Side, Stop 6, Fort Worth, y'all be in there trying to fight, and I it never broke them out. Everybody was talking, man, we gonna do it. I had the little dude from the South Side, little homie, was like, hey, Munch, he was like, hey man, get these dudes in the ring. Yeah, get them rappers. I want the rappers in my ring. That's what I want. I'm finna show you something. And now one of them showed up. So I see now. You know why? You get whooped on camera, it messes with your so-called street credibility. You know what I'm saying? So this happened to us in a boxing gym one time. This is a tragic story. Dude come in the gym, tough dude, street dude, talking noise to one of the boxers. One of the boxers was like, okay, we'll get in the ring. So they boxed. The boxer, of course, whooped him in front of his homeboy laughing the high side on him. He couldn't take it. Came back later on and killed the dude, shot the boxer, bro. Killed him.
That sounds.
So this is what's happening in the streets. This is what's happening all over. So I have a problem with these dudes because y'all really ain't that tough. To me, I understand that. So we do this Tuesday night fights. I got these little goofy little white dudes. It's funny. Red white dude with glasses coming there whooping these street fighter dudes all day long because of this different mindset, different spirit. You know what I mean? A lot of you are fighting in the streets when you're mad or you got beef or angry. It takes even more courage to get in a cage or a ring when you're not mad at somebody.
Yeah, you don't even know this nigga, but you got to go beat him
You
up.
gotta go
Yeah.
fight them. So
Yeah.
being tough, so that's why I give them. They come in. Now I get a lot of street dudes that come in and do it, but I did try to get these guys in the neighborhoods and the cities to come together and try to fight before they start killing each other. Especially the youngsters. I'd rather them do that than do that, but nobody really do it. So we really did this as a community thing, man. Bring everybody together in one building. You got the Mexicans, you got the Cowboys, you got everybody in one spot. Got
Yeah, white boy with cowboy hats and boots,
Yeah.
boot scooting. You got the gangster niggas. You got the man. You got everybody there. You got the K104 radio station, Bebe DJing. They got the music. And y'all been doing this for a year, right?
Yeah, we had our first year anniversary, and now we're doing it in Dallas at Club Vivo. So we're doing it the third Tuesday in Dallas at Club Vivo. And so this is just a thing. Now, mind you, I can tell you this. A lot of the guys that started this with me are now doing sanctioned fights. So a lot of the guys that started training with me, I gave them that platform to do that. And now these guys are now, one of my fighters, true enough, him and his brothers came in the gym to me over a year ago with that attitude. They come out the east side. 3 of them came there angry and mad. True story. They come in being disrespectful. And instantly I checked. I said, hey, don't do this stuff in here. I want to spar. I said, no, you don't spar. No, you want to spar? All right, nah. Their mom was like, I said, no. Don't tell them. Let them spar. Let them sign. Go spar. They get in there. I had a little Asian dude, 150 pounds, beating them up, knocking them around the gym, beating them up. They was mad. Get on the ground. You know, they street dude took crying. I said, hey, don't do that in here. Remember, you came here wanting to spar. But I seen something what happened. What it did was it gave them humility. Then those same kids that I'm telling you about started training in the classes, started getting better. Their attitude changed. And then one of them just had his first sanctioned fight, MMA fight, and won by a submission the other day.
Well, that was my next question because I personally know you and I know what you've been doing in the gym as well as outside the gym as well as going to the school district fucking with the babies. You've taken a negative element
Right.
out of our community, and say, okay, for one, you can get paid and do this professionally, but even outside of that, you've made it a character development program for black boys.
Sure did.
You've been developing character, man. So that's why I got you on this platform.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about this, right? So you got this wonderful event, and it's in the white folks area, where it's in a place where niggas can't get a venue. It becomes popular. More niggas out the hood start coming.
Mm-hmm.
Now the hood element get introduced into it, and almost got your business shut down.
Yeah.
Talk about that, man.
Yeah. Well, it's because it goes back to what you say, and it goes back to that mentality which you was talking about, is about us as a culture and a people, we don't respect. Even of our other kind that's trying to do the right thing. Because you're so enslaved and in poverty, spiritually and mentally, that you can't see that somebody else that's your color trying to do the right thing for you, your people, in the community. And obviously, everywhere you go, somehow the brothers like that are going to migrate to that spot. And we had a situation that almost got me shut down. And I had nothing to do with it. But let me tell you how the system works. I had nothing to do with it, but when the gang unit got to talking, when it came to the desk, my partner Rogers, thank God for him with the police department, it came to his desk and he was like, man, this guy, he said, hold up, I know him. He ain't had nothing to do with that. This is the right thing. This dude's doing the right thing. But they already put a stigma on me as soon as they knew that, because they kind of knew a background of mine slightly. So they kind of took that and put me and intertwined me with the guys that was doing the stuff when I'm just trying to help. Dude got in a fight in the spot. His people lose. His guy lose the fight. They get mad, start throwing bottles and stuff downstairs to one of the coaches. Well, they didn't know the guy that they was throwing stuff on is one of my former UFC guys. He wasn't trying to hear it. He tried to fight. They broke it up. We get outside. Mind you, the guy that was fighting had nothing to do with it. He come outside. They're arguing, talking. I'm trying to break everything up, stop everything from happening. And dude pulls out a round, fires one. The other guys start shooting, and nobody was shooting nowhere. They were shooting in the air. And then that's how it got to the police station, because prior to that, somebody not even having to do with us got shot down the street. 3 people got shot, and the month before that, somebody got shot. So they just kind of did that. And
This is in the upscale white people's this is prominent white businesses across the railroad tracks. And so these shootings didn't start happening until we started coming, partying with the white folks.
Right.
And so what happened was the local police department, gang unit, those local business owners in that district, kind of like a homeowners association, got together and said, hey, we know he cool, but there's people coming down here shooting the place up, and people's getting shot, and we don't want this out here. We want these people out of here, but they can't say we want these people. They got to politically try to find a way to say it without saying it. So they tried to shut him down.
Right. And what they did was they shut us down for that month. But through the grace of God, the owner of the club, the manager of the club, everybody vouched for me. And that's why I tell people, man, if your reputation and how you carry yourself, and, you know, you said something about respect, and people respect your mind. They have to respect your intelligence. And I think that's what's helped me through the years, is that even though I might look with tattoos on my face or this and that, the way I articulate myself, the way I talk, has made people understand. And what I've done for the community, what I do for the community, what I do for people has helped me. And they saw that and said, you know what? We're gonna keep this. We're gonna let this guy go. They had a meeting. We had a meeting. They was like, keep it going in November. We came back in November, and everything's been going good. We had November. We had December, and it hasn't been no problem. So I'm thankful that none of that shut down and none of those things happened. But it just goes to show you, man, that us as a people, and I get on my people all the time and say, man, you guys are the ones making it hard. You the ones doing this stuff to us. It's not them. Before you talk about what the white man's doing to you, what the white man's doing to talk about what you're doing to yourself, and talk about what you're doing to your own people. So before you start trying to do these other stuff, you got to clean up yourself, clean up your community, clean up your household, clean up all that. See, you forget about just your household alone. You worried about this man, you worried about this guy. You clean up your household, clean up your community. And when you see somebody that look like you trying to do the right, respect it and jump on board and try to help them. Instead of that, either you hate on it, you disrespect it, you try to get it shut down, you annihilate it because you don't got nothing. Just because you don't got nothing doesn't mean that somebody else don't want to have nothing. So I want them, it's a challenge to me for everybody that's in these neighborhoods and doing these things. And a lot of you guys, I challenge a lot of you older men, older OGs that you call yourself, I challenge you to start talking to these people and talking to these young men instead of, if you're a real OG is the one that leads them out of the darkness and not bring them to the darkness. That's what a real OG to me is. Not a guy sitting around a tree talking about these glory days and you ain't got nothing. And you ain't got no money, we ain't got this, but we're gonna sit around the tree talking about what we used to do, what we did this, we were doing this, and that's what you're talking about, and there's nothing else to talk about. So I'm challenging y'all to get your mind together, because what I realized too, just because you get older don't mean you get wiser. There's a lot of old fools out there. So just because I'm 45, so at the end of the day, I learned that the wisdom and intellect comes with the transformation in the spirit, not because you went through this. There's a lot of guys my age or older still talking that same nonsense, still talking that same BS, still talking all that stuff about what they did and what hood from and what set they claim and all that, instead of talking about the other things. And so now my challenge is start talking about other things, change your direction, change the narrative of your story, and then the people that you're talking to will really look up to you and respect you. And that's where I come with it.
Oh man, that's great insight. The next thing I want to highlight before we end the show tonight is Mayhem, you was talking about accountability when I pulled up on you.
Right.
So, man, we gotta be accountable. Can you expound on that?
Well, accountability is what I talk about when we talk about character development, right?
Yeah.
You know, one thing about we brothers, because we serving leaders, and I tell people, like he was saying, OG. My name used to be OG Mayhem until I changed it to Mayhem the Mentor, because people would get fascinated on my story. They want to gratify because it's interesting, because it's real.
Yeah.
And I tell a gangster is somebody who is principle driven. When you talk about Crips and Bloods, I gang banged as a child. I really gang banged, but I gang banged from people out of California. But what it was all about with us, it was brotherhood. We wanted a sense of belonging. It was principles. And what I teach now is we just do it differently. We don't gang bang. But we still principle driven. We still principle driven people. But now we serve a bigger purpose. We know, like we here to say, a real OG's job is to keep a young person out of prison. And that's my main goal. I'm not trying to be an author or none of that stuff. But since I know so much, I just drop this out there. But my main job is to hold people accountable and have people hold me accountable. The first thing I teach about accountability is I need two people to hold me accountable, because ain't nobody above it, right? But accountability is what maintains your character, right? Mm-hmm. And what you be talking about, why you get the blessings that you've been doing, is because you've been maintaining good character. That's it.
Amen.
It's about maintaining, and you can't maintain good character by yourself, because we men, we fall short. That's why you need another man. Or your wife or your woman really can't even hold you accountable. Everybody can't hold everybody accountable. In order for somebody to hold me accountable, that individual must know me and know my purpose.
That's right.
Other than that, you really don't need to be telling me nothing. That's why I ask young people, hey man, what's going on? How you doing, man? I'm Mayhem the Mentor. What do you want me to remember you as? What do you want to be remembered for? Right? How do you want people to remember you when you're gone? And the reason why I ask these questions, because you might not know right now, but I ask these questions so you can tell me, so I know what to hold you accountable for, because I cannot hold you accountable for what I want you to do. This ain't about me, it's about you and how you define yourself as a man. We two different people. But if I love you, then I'll take the time to know about you, where you trying to go.
When I do trainings at county probation department, I be telling, that's part of what I say is you can't correct nothing that you don't have an established relationship with. You can't show up with no kid trying to tell a kid something you hadn't established a relationship with that kid yet. So yeah, man, that's so accountability for you, Coach.
Yeah, same thing. Accountability I think starts with yourself and holding yourself accountable. So I like the word accountability, and I like humility too, because humility always keeps you in check. if you have humility, it keeps you in check. It keeps you in check about yourself. One thing about it, like you just said, there's no such thing as trying to check somebody and trying to correct somebody if you first have not corrected yourself and first have not looked at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that happens to me, for me, what happened to me is that I always look at myself and I always see people know right from wrong. And I know what I do right and I know what I do wrong. And I realize, you know what, Derwin, man, you that was wrong. And you know you weren't supposed to do that. Apologize for it. Hold yourself accountable for it. You know what I mean? And like you just said, I have brother, and it's the surrounding, the people that I have around me too. See, that's the thing. That's the biggest thing. It's the people that you have around me. I surround myself with good brothers. People call me. We talk about things. We debate, and it's all love. There's no ego attached to it. You tell me something because, like you said, they know me. I know them. So that's what it is. So it's like, you know, I can talk to them, but I'm always directing that love and energy in a good manner when I'm talking to them, as the way they do it with me. So I always do that. And the way I do that with accountability is I go to a lot of prayer. Prayer helps me. Everybody has their thing, but I'm always spending time with the Spirit because I believe in a higher being. I believe in God. So when I'm at home at night by myself, everything's calm, I replay the events of that day. Did I say anything wrong? Did I do anything wrong? What did I do right? And I do that. And I work on the things that I could do better every day. And so I want people to see that part of me. So when they hear me talk and hear me speak, they're not seeing a hypocrite. They're not seeing somebody who's just saying it, but like you said earlier, it's walking it and living it, not just talking it, but walking it and living it. So the word accountability to me is one of the biggest things that one is my favorite word and one of the biggest things I have in my life that I take real personal and dignity to.
Accountability for me. Accountability for me is what I did today. Now, I normally say some things on the internet, and when the motherfucker hear what I say, they respond back ugly, right? That's my fuel. That's how I get there. That's how I win on the internet. But if I say something wrong and you respond to me being right, there's no way I can respond back wrong. So, nah, man, I had to apologize to that nigga Kevin Gates. Man, I said some horrible shit, you know, really just fucking around, fucking with the rapper guy. But he showed up as a man, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That nigga showed up as a man. I'm fucking with the rapper. So the rapper we insensitive toward the title. Just like niggas don't just like the police. Niggas don't give a fuck about the police most of the time because they're in a uniform and a badge. We forget they human.
That's right.
We forget they human. They got kids, they got a family that they want to get home to. So it's easy to attack them. Same with the politician. It's easy to say horrible things about a politician because they politicians, right? Same with actor when they do something. We attack these people because we really don't see them as human. So when I said what I said, nigga don't see them as, you know, as real humans. Them nigga characters. But man, that nigga responded as a human.
Mm.
Yeah, that nigga responded as a human. Yeah,
Sure
that nigga
did.
body rocked me, homie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that nigga body rocked me with love and
Yeah.
kindness.
Yeah.
I was being mean and hateful. And that nigga love and kindness conquered me.
Yeah.
And made me scream, I'm sorry, man. God, that nigga responded with love and kindness
He did.
and beat me up on the inside, homie.
That's how you see when you see, and that's what I'm saying. I ain't say I'm a specialist at accountability, but I teach it. Right, my youth organization is called the Society of Israel. The foundation of is character development first. That's what it's all. It's if you can't do this, you can't do nothing else. Then entrepreneurship, then financial literacy, then American history, then manhood. But character development, right? So and I have to focus on this so much because we take this out of context and we fumble the football on accountability. Accountability is like a religion. It's personal. I cannot hold you accountable on the internet or in front of people. I gotta pull you to the side and say, hey, because accountability is not a condemnation or I'm not blaming you for something. Accountability is I'm trying to show you something that you may or may not even be doing. So when I tell people, what do I hold you accountable for? Negative character traits. What is a negative character trait? You might be lying. You might be a gangster. You might be a player. You might be a pervert. You might be quiet. You might be loud. You might be whatever. It's always a negative and positive character trait to everything. My negative character trait is I'm aggressive. I can scare a person because I'm what you talking about, and they be like, oh, he's so aggressive. I should say, how do you do? You know, whatever. but my thing is I have to understand what I'm doing so I can control. I don't come off so harsh, and more people will like me. Why is it important for me to have good character?
It decides your destiny. Your character decides how far you go in life.
Your character is going to determine on how much wealth you got and how much leadership ability you have, right? Because it's like you were saying, you have an ability to maintain your character. And your character is he's good. He's a good guy. He got good character. He's always doing this. Man, we want him over here. Yeah, he did something bad, but he's maintaining his character. All the other stuff. Character is why they come get you. Yeah. Like I say, when people look at me, even though I was in prison, I maintain good character. Them laws you say, oh man, he's like rank. I'm an inmate.
Well, that's why when you get in court and you're in trouble, most of the time they're not looking at what you did. They're looking at what you've done, meaning your character.
Your character.
And so when it's time to sentence you, you're sentenced based on not what you've done, but your character.
Right.
So when you see one of your brothers, when you see somebody that you love doing something that you don't understand, right? You like, damn, what's my boy doing? So you know him, you love him, and you know this is what? Out of
character, yeah.
Once you see somebody doing something out of character, you hold him accountable. And accountability is not a, you know, hey man, where you at, man? Where you at? I need to come out at you. Because it's not everybody, because guess what? He may have a reason. Right. He might have a justification what he's doing. You don't know what he's doing. But my thing is this, if I really love him, I'm going to do him like I want somebody to do me. If I'm messing up, if I'm doing something that makes me look bad as a team, then I need you to pull me aside and tell me, because I'll be more receptive to what you were saying. Because if you tell me in front of everybody, then it's not going to be received in the intent that it's supposed to be received in. Because I'm going to feel some type of way. Why everybody got to know that I might or may not be making a mistake. That ain't everybody's business. I may be doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's saying, you know what I'm saying? Because if I love you, then you represent me and we on the same thing. So I want to see you. I see you in the best light. I see you doing the best shit. I don't see you doing negative shit. So when I hold you accountable, because I'm like, if you're doing this, you're going the wrong way. I see you going this way. So I'm just, you know, not I don't know if you're doing or not, but I'm saying if you're doing this, this makes you look less likable. So you might want to tighten up. What you do with the information I just gave you is up to you. It's not. I didn't here to judge you. You can keep doing what you're doing. I just wanted to let you know that this right here can cause people not to like you. That's it.
Yeah, I seen that video too with Kevin. I saw it.
I didn't see
that.
It
much respect to that brother.
It was beautiful, and he said it, and I can tell it was genuine, because you know some people say it something just to look cool and not, but I felt the genuine.
What happened?
Man, you know, I made some being me, fucking with the rap niggas,
right.
Joking and shit, and I say the nigga acting different, and the nigga come back with a response and say, yeah, nigga, and I ain't acting different like what you trying to say, but nigga, here's why I'm acting different. I don't drink and get high no more. I'm at peace. Now that nigga body rocked me, homie, so I had to step back.
He said you do a good job. What you doing?
And then they commended me, man. They said, man, I love you, brother, but put me down, you know, shows a sign of your insecurities. And I'm saying, damn, man, that nigga body rocked me, homie.
It wasn't even that long, but it was beautiful though.
Yeah, but it shows a different side of a rapper. It shows a different side of the character of Charleston, because it made me come out of character and say, hold up, homie, I was wrong with a motherfucker.
You made me think about somebody did me like that, but he did me like my homeboy. It was on Cofield, my homeboy Chicken Wing. I just came from Telford's unit. And Telford's unit is extremely violent unit. I don't know if you know this, right? So you don't do So I'm trying to adjust to Cofield. Cofield is an old school penitentiary. You can't. It's small day rooms and all this, right? So Chicken Wing, my boy out of South Dallas, he's supposed to be my boy, right? But he brushed up against me. This is a soft brush, but it wasn't no big deal, right? But to me, it was very big, deadly big deal. You must think I'm a hoe. So I jam him up. Man, you tripping? Why? You know what I'm saying? So I charged him up. So Chicken Wing looked at me. And he said, Mayhem, It doesn't matter if a nigga don't respect you or not. Just as long as a nigga don't disrespect you. I didn't do anything to you to be this, you know what I'm saying? I was not trying to do that. It was an accident. You tripping. You was always trying to press the issue. But what he told me was real. He told me the most important thing about respect is disrespect. It does not matter if a nigga respect you or not. It doesn't matter. Just as long as a nigga don't disrespect you. That's where a problem is at. You say you want everybody to respect you, and when they don't, you act like they disrespected you. But really, they didn't do nothing. You really making an issue out of something that really was nothing. And I said, you know what, you so right.
Yeah, make you feel bad.
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
I said, you
you
so
do,
right.
man.
Cause
Yeah,
Chicken
yeah.
Wing had a little arm too. I was gonna, boy, say, man, but he
Yeah,
was,
you-
but I wasn't that chair. He was strong. You don't want to do with the one arm.
Yeah,
He's
no, I know
strong,
MMA fighter
hey,
like
man,
that.
you gotta watch that
I
one.
was fucking with a nigga with a half a body. I had to think
I
about
know
it.
who he is.
Yeah, I had to think about it. I called that nigga out talking about let's have a fight. Man, and I'm gonna tie my arm behind my nigga told me, say, nigga, call that fight off. That nigga been operating with one arm all his life. Nigga, he gonna whoop you. Yeah, then I come back and say, well, no, he gotta put a patch on his eye. Yeah, nigga. Yeah, nigga, I call that fight off. Nigga, yeah, fight like you.
But like you said, man, the accountability works fine is when you can recognize what the individual was saying, and you can say, yeah, I did make a mistake, and I do need to get better.
That's what that nigga did to me,
and
homie.
that's
Yeah.
what it's all about.
Yeah, that's what that nigga did to me, homie. Because I'm in character just fucking with it.
Yeah.
Nah, that nigga pulled me out of character, nigga, and said, nah, nigga, here's why I'm acting different. And then, nigga, that's a nigga getting right? That's a nigga getting right in his walk in life. So, nigga, I can't joke on him.
Right.
Yeah, I can't fuck with him, man. He ain't one of them kind of niggas to be fucked with like that. That nigga done stopped drinking and smoking. He in tune with nature and shit. Yeah, that nigga found, nigga done discovered. Here I am fucking with it.
Yes,
Yeah,
man.
man, I'm sorry, my
Shout
nigga.
out to Kevin Gates, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my nigga. I ain't had no business fucking with you. Yeah, for real. But yeah, go ahead.
I just shared him on my Facebook page, man. He had a little something slick. You know, he always dropping some jewels, but he said, my circle is small because somebody, you know, you only got one time to mess me over, because if you mess me over, I'm through, because you had no reason in the world to mess me over.
Because I didn't do nothing to you.
Well, you know I'm 100.
Right.
You know I'm
Yeah.
100, and you mess me over anyway. Oh no, you
Yeah.
out of there, body.
Yeah.
Arrivederci.
Oh well, you see, and then just to the nigga credit, homie. You see the transition the nigga made.
You
See,
see?
I'm still stuck on the rapping nigga that kicked the bitch on stage, right? So when I blurted that out, when I saw the video, me being me, nigga, I wanted to say, man, fuck that nigga, man. Yeah, I still wanted to be mean, but I hadn't saw the video.
Mm.
People were tagging me, but I hadn't saw the video. So when I had said, yeah, man, that nigga done kicked the bitch on stage and everything, my cousin Michelle said, that's the old him, Blue. He done changed. He don't do that no more. Man, you gotta. So she hit me with that. No, man, that's the old him.
Right.
No, man, that nigga done changed. So, but I ain't think about that when I was fucking with him. They rappers.
Right.
Fuck a rapper. You know, that's a nigga mindset, homie. Just like the white person say, he's a gang member. Fuck a gang member. They never take the time to get to know the gang member. Or fuck him, he robbed stores. They never get to take the time to know the backstory, right? So I did the same thing. Man, fuck these, because we don't never know the backstory to these niggas, right? So you get stuck on the shit that they do, and you never get to know who they are.
Yeah. You just said something real quick that just really hit me. I read a book. It's called The Fishbowl.
Yeah.
It's about what happened in Fort Worth when they took down the whole.
Yeah, one of the largest drug busts, yeah.
Yeah. The guy, Tegan, that wrote the book, he was the undercover officer that was assigned to take the drug thing down. I read the book. Of course, I know a lot of the guys in the book. I was close with a lot of these guys. But he said something that blew me away. He said, when I went into that operation, I went into the operation with the mindset of taking down the Crips and taking down these gang members and these drug dealers. But I didn't know going into that operation that I was going to meet human beings. And he said that when he went in there, and he got, because he said he had to start.
Wow.
He said he had to start at the bottom. And he said, even me as a white man that was perceiving everybody wrong. These guys, he goes, when we would go to drug bust or we would go get some drugs, I'll be with the lower guys. He said, I'll be in the car driving with them, and they'll be talking about their story. And they'd be like, and he said, and I seen regular people, they were like, yeah, man, I love my kid. I like my wife, man. And he said, I found out these guys, they wasn't these monsters like I thought they were. They was talking regular. And they were like, man, Tegan, I like you, man. Why you do? Man, I'm doing this to try to, I don't got no other skill set. I'm just trying to get my family out this stuff. He said, and I was spending time with these guys in their homes and their families. And I saw then these were regular human beings. At some point, I stopped looking at them as gang members. I stopped looking at them as, drug dealers. I started looking at them as human beings that would sit down and they would pick up their kids and wrestle with their kids and smile and laugh and play on the video games. And he goes, and that broke my heart because I was already in too deep. And I knew I had to finish the job, but I was already over it because I seen that these guys want these monsters like everybody say, that society said. He said these were regular people that had issues and had problems and that was growing up. And he said it broke my heart how everybody kept talking, oh, they nothing but gaming, they thugs. But when you sit down and talk with these guys, they were regular guys and they were soft-hearted, they were soft-spoken, and they had their kids and they had their wives. And these guys were going to their mama's house, taking care of their mamas. Man, that blew me away, man.
He ended up retiring after that drug bust.
That was one of the reasons.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons he retired.
Yeah.
I worked with one of the kids. Shout out to Miss Nikki. I worked with one of the kids that this white officer, after he made that drug bust, he went back and helped the kids.
He did.
He went back and helped the kids who mothers and fathers that he put in prison. He changed many kids' life. They helped create, I think, the hope for him over there on the south side, I think, for those kids. So, I got to work with at least two of those kids that come out the fishbowl who mothers and fathers was attached to that.
Wow.
And I know for a fact that this did what that white officer did. It was deep. I didn't know. I hadn't read the book.
Yeah, it's a great book.
But what Kevin Gates did for me, homie, he humanized himself. Yeah, he humanized himself. And there was no way that I can reflect anything other than what he reflected and say, listen, man, I was wrong, my nigga.
Right.
I think sometimes we forget y'all just human, just like us.
Right.
I think we forget that about these celebrities and entertainers.
Yeah.
They become so idolized that we forget they're human.
That's right.
So with that being said, man, we gonna close out. We got another great week, another great episode of game-related, not gang-related. Games applied means elevation and guidance above my emotions. You gotta think past what you feel, nigga. Yeah, based on what you know. And we out.
And if my book is Black Master.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry,
It's
man.
available on Amazon, man. And all
I'm sorry,
platforms.
man. Yeah, and where can they find it again? Say it one more time.
On Amazon.com, or you can follow me on mayhemthementor.com. You know
Coach, where can they find you at, Coach?
You find me at Fort Worth, Texas. My gym is at 3001 Shamrock, Fort Worth 76107. Find me on Instagram. My Instagram page is Derwin Lamb. My business page is Lamb4. Also, check out my YouTube channels where I'm going to be doing most of my content and speaking and motivational speaking and things like that. Move of the day for fighting. The name of my YouTube channel is Fighting in Light, Fighting is Life with Coach D, or you can look it up as Coach D, Fighting is Life is my YouTube channel. So come check me out. Facebook is Derwin Lamb.
And y'all can catch me training over there. I'm training for my fight I'm getting ready for. So y'all can catch me. All my training video will be posted on his YouTube channel, man. So that's who training me for my fight that's coming up. And I'll let y'all know who I'm fighting soon. So peace, and we out. See y'all next Tuesday. And have a Merry Christmas. Yeah, motherfuckers. yeah, man. I appreciate y'all coming in,
man.
man. Yeah, great show, man.
For real.
Yeah, great show, man.
I appreciate you,
Say,
man.
Clubhouse, man. I just wanted y'all to tune in and come fuck with me tonight, man. So that's
this
all
your
I got
voice?
for y'all. Yeah, man.
Oh, you
Yeah, that's after. See how good
Baby.
it tastes, man.
I ain't even facing it.
Yeah.
Baby girl.
Yeah, I got the wife in the studio and all that, man. Baby, come here.
What you doing? You got the video?
Yeah, he gave me the finger wash.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he didn't want me over his shoulder.
Oh, you was in Clubhouse?
Yeah, we was in Clubhouse, man.
Oh man, I just made one today. I'm trying to get my
yeah.
thing up.
Yeah, we in Clubhouse, man.
Yeah. Man, I appreciate y'all, man.
Appreciate y'all, man. That was real good.
You like that, baby?
Cash App anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can buy it. You have the one of these?
Yeah. I got him in the trunk. These are his books.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna go get one out there. Who water is it?
That's my man. That's my man.
Okay,
that
I
Oh,
water.
you make your own water?
Alcon.
Yeah.
Alcon.
It'll be in store soon.
Yeah, I like the name of it too.
Yeah.
Everybody
Seek first the kingdom.
Yeah, seek first the kingdom.
Man, he'll taste like white folk water that drink out the
It
fountain.
does.
Yeah.
Everybody,
No, it really do. And it had a nice
So
little
I'm
thing
gonna
to
pay
it.
attention. I'm old bologna sandwich eating. Man, I need to be here. We getting old and shit. We
Yeah.
getting on 40, man. And everybody telling me the alkaline water is.
I just come back from the doctor getting all my blood work done, man. Yeah, kidney.
Yeah, my girl told me I need to go
Man, I
get
just
my
went
colon
on
thing. I
Wednesday.
said,
Nah,
I'm
I'm
not doing that shit.
Yeah.
I just went to healthcare.gov and
I don't
got
know what life would
my
be like
own
once they do
medical
that.
insurance.
See?
Yeah.
Listen,
Yo,
once they do it, look, everybody
You
get
ain't the same kind of man no more.
Nah, when
Yeah,
they
yeah,
do that,
yeah.
everybody say, Coach, nah, man, I mean, you look young. You 45, you look really young, but you never, I said, let me tell you something. I'm going to let God take care of that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can't even imagine that, man. You ain't the same kind of man no more, nigga. Yeah, something take place once they do that to you. Yeah, shit. Something on the inside of you ain't gonna be right
Yeah,
ever
right.
again. Yeah, nigga, fuck that. How you in this motherfucker?
Hell no.
Yeah, man.